We tried it Friday, didn't work out, so we're going to try it again tonight. Trading post FOMC. Let's talk about it. Trading post FOMC. That's what we want to talk about tonight on American Dream Trading's The Aftermarket Live Chat and Watch Party. I am Dawn, your host, aka J&J Video Reacts. And this is a stream that's been created for traders to have a place to come and just kind of hang out after the market and decompress, talk about strategies, talk about Coach's strategy. Coach is Chad W. Christian, a 33-year stock market vet who has literally traded in every market condition imaginable. He teaches us how to do the very same thing, teaches us how to think for ourselves as traders, not as call-out chasers, right? So shout out to Coach. And thank you for creating American Dream Trading, and thank you for giving us such a platform where we can come and learn the right way. Coach has created over 14 millionaires, and at least 12 of them had no prior day trading experience. And there are 2 waiting in the wings, ready to take that leap, that are trading very successfully. And they've been featured here on this show. But Coach, thank you for thank you. That's all I can say. If you'd like to join American Dream Trading, you can do so by clicking this link, which is none other than americandreamtrading.com. And that will get you through to our 7-day free trial. Yes, you can try it for free. You don't have to pay a dime. You can join our crypto membership, our futures membership, or our premium membership, which is focused on stocks and options. And if you decide to do that and stay with it, which most people do, it will renew at its regular rate after the 7 days, both crypto and premium being $125 a month and futures being $250 a month, because it includes our Trading View indicator overlay. Right now, we're trying to get Coach to 20,000 subscribers, and since I can't put the overlay on the screen, the number right now is 16,401. So 16.4, gang, we're moving up the ladder. Let me go ahead and put the link down there as well, because I know that my trusty co-pilot James likes to come on and kind of hang out with me up here. And he is amazingly awesome. Let me put it down there. All right. It is there. And might I say, I see a couple of people down there. F2, what's up, brother? You are just getting it done, aren't you? F2 is one of those people that I mentioned. So he is trading his you-know-what off, and we are so proud of him. He is a regular on this show and somebody that we look up to very dearly and love very dearly. He's been here all along, always supporting the show, and we appreciate you. So thank you. Let's see what else we got going on. Oh, I might want to turn that down. So far it's just you two. It's okay. So it's F2. It is Chad H. That is should be the Restream Studio link down there. Oh, James isn't even here. Okay, cool. Chad H, what's up, brother? And Mike B, what's up, Mikey B? How are you, brother? So, stocks tend to be a little, you know what? I thought I put. Here we go. Stocks tend to be just a little erratical. After FOMC, they can tend to be choppy. But I've been talking with my buddy Grok, and he told me some things to go over with you guys. So hopefully you will indulge me here. All right, so first off, I want to ask you guys down there in the chat, do you have an FOMC hangover? Now, F2, I know that you probably don't because you trade Apple, but if you trade anything that's like an indice or a ETF, you might experience some extra volatility that someone who is just focusing on one stock isn't really necessarily experiencing. IWM, my fave, however, which is also M2K, also it wasn't volatile. I paper traded it today. It wasn't volatile, but it did get caught up on certain areas where it was choppy, but it stair-stepped up the whole way. So if you had gotten early and played the coach's strategy of the 2-minute EWO, you made some good money on IWM today because it never told you to get out if you got in where you should at the beginning of the day. And I think I heard somebody come in. It is none other than James L. Let me go ahead and do that. Mr. James, what's going on?
Dawn? Good, good. Yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So how was your weekend?
It's long.
I know it is a long weekend, right? Oh man. But you know, it is what it is. We got through it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Talking about post FOMC meeting, how did you do today? Did you trade?
I did in the pre-market. Then I was squirreled at market open and missed this entry, missed that entry, and just decided, you know what? I've got my green, and I'll just do other things.
And that was a smart thing to do. That was a smart thing to do. We had some climbers in the pre-market. We had actually quite a few climbers in the pre-market this morning. Yeah. Today was a good pre-market day. If you got into the pre-market, we had stuff like Boxel, which reminded me so much of Soxel, BOXL. We had
that was a good one. Made some money on that one.
Yep, we had QLGN.
Made some money on that one.
We had AGRI.
Didn't touch that one.
Okay, and we had MBX. That was another good one that ran.
Yeah, I seen that. Didn't touch it.
You didn't touch MBX?
No.
What about FLGC?
No. Nope, those are the only two I played this morning.
Was it? Okay. Well, hey, look, at least you made some money, right?
Yeah, I got right at 2% of my account, so.
Oh, sweet. Oh, look. I noticed you past couple times you've been at 2%. One isn't good enough for you, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, technically it's like 1.95.
He's got to double it, F. He's got to double it. But yeah, so that was good. We could actually. Ouch. That hurt my ears, Jam. All right, so if we take a look at Boxel, let's see what's happening in the aftermarket. Okay, so Boxel basically today started out like gangbusters, and then it kind of went to hell in a handbasket and never really recovered, right? So what we're taught to do over here is we watch our indicators, right? Like right here, we've got the 9 indicator, we've got the 21, we've got the 55, and then we've got VWAP, and then the 200, right? With this, the way that we're trained is we wait for a break and hold over the 9 if you're scalping, and if you're using the 2-minute EWO strategy, we go in right here on the very first one that's larger than any of the others. So technically, your EWO entry would have been here, right? Because technically when the 9 crosses the 21, that's when a new EWO begins, which was right here. Everything was flat, but you don't go in on the flat ones. You go in on the first one that shows you volume, Okay. So once we got the volume here, which was here, Boxer went up and it stayed up over the 9. That's a trade you stay in, right? You get in that, you stay in that, you ride it all the way up until it starts to do this. Here, though, it's still not a reason to get out because it hasn't broken below the 9. If it breaks and holds below the 9, which is here, that's when you get out, right? So this was a pretty penny if you stayed in this. It's over VWAP. All the indicators are over VWAP, which means they are definitely confirmed to the upside. Anything over the volume weighted average price, which is VWAP, is considered to the upside. If it's under VWAP, it's considered to the downside. Okay. So all of this stayed above VWAP, right? I still wouldn't have been in this though, only if you could play it to the downside. All of this stayed above VWAP, and it's still, until this area right here, stayed above VWAP and came down under it here. And notice the indicators followed. The 9 follows first because that is the first one. That's why scalpers use it, because they need to know quickly what the stock is doing when it changes its mind. And the 9 is the indicator that is going to let you know that. So the 9 crossed over here, which created a new EWO down here. The 21 followed, then the 55, and they are all under VWAP. So they are officially to the downside. You got nice stair-stepping candles here, and then you've got a full red EWO down here, which started right here at the crossover of the 9, right? So that's the stuff you look for post FOMC, right? You look for things like the crossover of the 9 on the 21. If you're scalping, even if you're not scalping, the 9 crossing the 21 is one of your first indicators that that stock is moving in a different direction. Or if it's not crossing it, but it's going in one main direction, there's nothing to worry about because you're already in the direction. But if it crosses over the 21, that's letting you know there's a reversal. There's other things that you can look at, such as candles, right? To know when something is going to reverse, because in post FOMC, you got to be careful for reversals, especially quick ones. So you've got dojis, you've got all kinds of things in here. When it consolidates, look for consolidation. Normally when a stock consolidates, especially for this amount of time, it tends to drop. Buyers get tired. Buyers get tired in here, especially if something is volatile and it's doing chop. So when it gets volatile like this, it tends to drop off and you lose buyers, and this is what happens, right? It goes to the downside. Now, if you're lucky enough to be in a stock where you can short it or buy a put, if you're, able to do call options on it, then you can get paid to the downside. That's another reason I love Coach's teachings, because we get paid whether the stock goes up, whether it goes down, or whether it channels to the side. Now, this kind of channel, no, because, it's just no volume in it. But if it's a nice channel where you've got 4, 5, 6 candles going up, 4, 5, 6 candles going down, unless you have a huge account and you can trade off of one candle and make a shit ton of money, you want a channel that's a lot larger than that. Something like, something like that, right? Goes up, comes back down. You want large channels if you're going to channel trade, right? Let me check in. All right, I want to welcome Vegan Knowledge JJ. How are you, darling? Thank you for being here. I want to welcome Jay. Jay said on the road right now, but I am here and listening. And what's up, ADT fam? What's up with you, J Dog? Thank you for supporting and listening while you're on the road. Chad H said getting in the not much day job is getting in the way of my trading. LOL. I did 13% today. Way to go, Jay. Way to go, man. 13% today because I missed the EWO, so just took some scalps. That's the smart thing to do. If you miss your EWO entry, which means you plan on riding this out, then you just go for a scalp, right? You just go for a scalp. You don't plan on sitting in it. The EWO is a strategy for somebody who plans on sitting in it until the EWO shows you otherwise, right? A scalp, you get in, get green, get out, right? So good for you. You recognize the fact that you missed your entry and you went on ahead and scalped it. Good. Vegan Knowledge JJ saying hi to everybody. Mikey B, NUAI, and CPSH. All right, let's take a look at them. NUAI. Okay, NUAI on the 1 minute right now in the aftermarket is rolling. Okay, so this is what we just talked about, right? We've got VWAP right here, which is volume weighted average price. That's the average price that it's trading intraday. Right now, though, remember I told you the 9 leads away. The 9 is sitting under that. If you want it to stay to the upside, the 9 needs to be over it. But that doesn't mean you can't scalp it, right? Right here, you could have gotten in at the break and hold over the 9. This is the break. This is the hold, right? And it's over the 9, and it's still over the 9 here. So you could have gotten in here, could have got yourself a share or two just to test the waters, and gotten in and gotten out once it broke below the 9, like I told you before. You don't stay in it when it breaks below the 9, and the 9 is still below VWAP. So right now, it's found support, and if we go over to our L2 over here, we got support. Well, we don't really have huge support levels over here. All right, one just popped in. At what is that, 60? Let me enlarge my phone, my camera here. All right, so you got a couple of support levels popping around in there. You got 72.7, you got 70 cents. This is under $1, so be careful. The penny stocks tend to be a little bit more volatile. They don't really stay up that long, so don't get your hopes up. But we got 70 cents, 66 cents. These are all areas of support right here. This means it could pop down to these levels because buyers are looking to buy in lower at that rate, right? James, do me a favor, mute your mic, bro. Thank you. And then on the ask side, you do have a support level sitting up over there at 82 cents. And look how much volume is in that position. You have 7,646 shares waiting to be sold up there. So that would explain why it's being pulled up right here, right? We don't have a whole lot pulling it down. We got this big area of resistance pulling it up. So what do? We go to our chart and we chart it out. 82 cents. Let's put a line at 82 cents. All right, let's see. Let's hit that. Okay, 200. All right, so 82 cents is right here, right? The hell, is that right? Did I do that right? Hold on 1 second. Oh, I typed 72. My bad. There we go. Okay. I'm like, what the hell? Okay, so 82 cents is sitting pretty much right here where they topped out before and then came down. So if it comes back up this time, it will be a double top based on this right here, right? Which means it could legit pull down just like it did here. So be careful. If it does get up there, you needed to break and hold that level before you think about getting in it. Now, right now, the support levels that are there, let's see what we got. The biggest one I'm seeing is 6676. So let's put a line in there. 6676. Let's go for, where is the circle? All right. All right, 6676. All right, and we're going to color that red because that would be support. All right, so this is what we're looking at. This is where the biggest level of support is sitting. Let me make sure that's still accurate because they do jump around. My mama told me these stocks jump around. Okay, so yeah, 6676 is still your biggest area of support. See it over here on the L2? All right, so if it comes down, chances are it's going to come down to that level, right? Which right now, that's where the 55 is sitting. So I don't know. And it seems like it's got momentum. Look at what's happening with it. It's consolidating a little bit, but look at the volume. Look at the volume. Look at the movement. It's got movement, and it's got that huge area up there. Now, some people jumped out of the 82 cents and pulled it down to 81 cents. You see that over here? They said, okay, they ain't buying the 82 cents, gang. Some of us, let's go to 81 and see what happens. Let's see if they'll pull it up to 81, right? They want the buyers to pull it up to 81. So now we got a bigger support level sitting at 75.10. So they move support up a little bit. So let's do that. Because you know what's happening, right? They're seeing that they're not budging on this 81 and 82 cents. So they're like, okay, they're not bringing it down to 66 cents. Let's go 75 cents. Let's meet them halfway. And it's working because it's driving. They're paying more for it. So that's 7708 is support. Let's change that number to 7708. Let's make sure I got the right thing. Yeah. All right, 7708 is now where support is. That's up here now, right? See what happened there? It created that channel there. Let's see if it breaks this level finally. Are you guys in this? Let me check that in the chat. Richard, what is up, Richard? Hey! What's happening? Welcome, everybody. Rob is in So Flow. What's up, Rob? Isn't the thumbs up? Isn't that thumbs up? Yes, sir. Yes, smash the like button, everybody. All right. It's already given us issue because it knows retail traders are looking at this just like we're looking at it right now, right? So they know this is a cup and handle, and usually on cup and handles, it is a bullish pattern, and we do have plenty of momentum to the upside, but you've got to get that handle first, and double top's always going to give you a pullback. So that's exactly what it's doing. And look where it pulled to, right? It pulled beyond that level, but it's basically retesting this level that we drew in right here. 7708. See, it's stuck right there. We already knew it would be. Why? Because we looked at the L2 and saw it. There you go, Dave. There's that L2 training that you like. We saw it right here on the L2, and look where it got stuck, right where we drew. We drew it in before that happened, but we're not psychic. We're using our tools, gang. We're using our tools. It told us that's where it wanted to go. So if you were looking for a buy-in opportunity, that's telling you, hey, why don't you check out 7708? Right? And look what's happening. If you had bought in there, you'd be in the money right now, wouldn't you? Look at that. It wants to go back up. It was a cheat code. And hopefully you know, now here's the thing. None of us are tax or professional financial advisors. So I am not telling you to buy the stock. I'm telling you that's an area of interest that you might want to take a look at if you're looking at getting into it in your paper trading account. You know what I'm saying? So everything that we tell you here is for training and educational purposes only. But yeah, it's hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. It's going up. So it found its support and it's bouncing. But I'm not happy with that. That doesn't look good. So what I do when that happens is I go look at the L2. Phone, come on, work with me here.
Is it giving you hell, Dom?
The phone was acting a little strange, Okay, so we got some pullback areas. Nothing huge that looks like it wants to pull it down, like knife drop pull. You know what I mean? Because if for that to happen, you would have to see a bit. See how it is over here? Big volume in that level. We'd have to see that down here on the L2 for it to pull it down. So this is still here. They want to pull it up. So we should see a bounce here shortly, because there's some people up here that are buying it at a higher price. So yeah, we should see some pulling up happen in a little bit. There we go. Go ahead. If you watch the L2 long enough, you begin to know how to read it. Now, also another thing that scares me is when I don't see any big levels of support, it will knife drop like it's starting to do right now. Yeah, when there's not a huge level of support, meaning a floor, as Richard calls it, well, it's a trap door, right? You're just falling through. There's no floor there to catch you. All right, we had some support popping up here to pay higher prices to keep it moving towards this number right here. So that explains this bounce. See what happened up the top up there? Those pullback levels popped in there. They weren't as big as that before, because I would have seen them. Well, maybe not, but
Hey, Don.
yeah.
Did you take a look at Sava?
Is it SAVA?
SAVA.
All right, let's do it.
I added another 0.5% to my account. I caught it when the 9 crossed VWAP.
Oh, which we just talked about. All right, SAVA, Sava, Savalicious. Okay, so since this is kind of dying off on us a little bit over here on NUAI, let's take a look at Sava. Let's pull it up front and center. Okay. All right, cool. So as you can see, Sava right here started out with the 9 under VWAP, but that didn't matter because it broke and held the 9 right here. And all of the candles went up, they stayed up, and we're looking at this 9 and where they are in relation to it. Look at that, way up over the 9, way up over the 9. And now the 9 has done what? Crossed VWAP. So this plans on staying to the upside for a while. And as you can see, it's showing you just that. Hey, I'm to the upside. So not telling you to get in Sava, but it is looking nice and pretty. So let's look at where our resistance is going to give us some issue. All right, there's a big area that's popping in all the way up there, though. So right now on the bid side, it's trading at $3.29. That's where the area of support is. And we got some areas of resistance up at 332. Let's see, 332. Okay. Look for a pullback. Yeah. Yep. I didn't even see this. I'm looking at the L2 when this happened. because all of a sudden the areas of resistance dropped out, and I saw a huge level of support pop in over here, which acts as a magnet to pull it down. And I looked over, and lo and behold, that's what was happening. So use your tools. $3.15 and a position at $3.17 right above it. So let's put a line in there. Let's go over here. James, I'm glad you made some money on that, brother. $3.15. See, we get the good trading over here. Okay, it's sitting right at support. It's sitting right at support. Now, if something comes in even below that, then I'd worry that it's going to keep dropping. Yep, it hit it directly. It's not quite there yet. When this gets up at the top, that means it'll be there. So it's sitting right there. Let's see if we get a bounce, because this has got a lot of momentum to the upside. Look, it's almost straight up. So I don't see it dropping because it's got too much momentum, but you never know. You never know with these smaller cap stocks what's going to happen. So you get in, you get your money, and you get out like what James just did. You don't marry them. You don't stay in there forever. Get in, get green, and get out, because they can be choppy. They can do stuff like this, right? We're going to go ahead and drop a line in here at the top of it so that we kind of have an eye where our double top will fall in at. Let's see. Now, you know what I'm going to do while this is dropping profusely? I'm going to go ahead, since I didn't get a chance to do it at the beginning of last week's show. I played it towards the end. I'm going to go ahead and play Richard's video that he did for us last week while he's in here, so he gets a chance to watch it with you guys.
Oh my gosh, can you believe it's Friday already? And what a week we've had. The Fed lowering interest rates by 0.25. It was kind of expected, but what the good news was is that they're planning on doing 2 more cuts and 1 more this year, which I can clearly see happening now that the pressure and everything has kind of gone on them to do that. So why is that important to you if you want to learn to trade this business? Well, there are stocks that will benefit from interest rate cuts, like home builders, Home Depot, because when somebody goes ahead and buys a house, if they're going to be selling their existing one, they're buying paint to paint, they're cleaning up the place to do it. And then when they have the new one, they're probably going to go to a furniture store and maybe buy a new kitchen table or a new bed or a new couch. All those things happen when interest rates get cheaper for people to be able to get into a mortgage and buy a home. And so if you haven't thought about that before, come to American Dream Trading, because in American Dream Trading, we're aware of not only seasonality and interest rate cuts, but when stocks are performing based on news events. For example, Joby, that's a company that deals with drones, and drones are in the news all the time. So even if you're a small account holder, come and join us. Get the experience and the knowledge that will help you increase your finances. And that's Richard's Radar for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard, for that brilliant assessment, as usual. You can see Richard's Radar every Wednesday and every Friday right here on the Aftermarket. He gives you plays, he gives you assessments of what he thinks is going on in the market. And that was a post FOMC play that he was telling you. He was talking to you about how stocks behave and what's going on, and what like the housing will do for you, the information that you can get with that, and what it does for them in the stock market. So thank you, Richard, for that. Appreciate you. Let's see. So it looks like Sava fell off a little bit. People took profit. Why? Look at it. Look where it went. Right? It hit the double top, and instead of going back up, it came back down just like it did right here, which is what double tops do. Coach tells us that's one of his favorite trades is a double top. Right? Why? Because it's easy money. If it came down here, chances are it's going to pull here. So that means you do what? You get ready to short it or play a put. Or if you're just in a stock where you can't short it or play a put, you get out of it before you get caught up in this avalanche, right? All right, so it also kind of bounced right here, didn't it? Right where we put our support line. Look at that. It went a little bit below. It broke the 200, but it stayed right around that line, and it looks like it's trying to make a reprieve. It looks like it's trying to bounce back up. So I'm going to check my L2s and see what we got. Oh, did you see that? A whole bunch of volume came into this stock right now. How do I know that? Did you see the L2 right there? It was just blank, completely blank. And look, you have full stack on the bottom of the bid side, and you've got a full stack on the top of the ask side, which means you're going to get what? Consolidation. That is the sellers and the buyers fighting. We want it up. No, we want it down. We want it up here. No, we want it down here. So it's going to do what? Consolidate. It's going to just call it even because nobody's winning right now. Look at that. That's what happens when you get consolidation. It's because they're fighting. They're equal. Look at that. Uh-oh. But the green side's winning, so you should start to see this drop. Look at the green side headed up towards the top. Listen, whoever is at the top is getting top choice. So the green is winning the race over the red right now. So, yep, look. The buyers are bringing it down to the price that they want. If this makes it to the top before the red does, red, see what I mean? They're fighting. Look at that buyer's wick right there. Yep. Back and forth. Okay, the green is winning. It should start dropping. Green is sitting up at the top. Big levels up at the top. I don't see those levels up at the top for Yep, and we got one down here. So yeah, it should start dropping down just a little bit here. They're just trying to get a better buy-in price. I don't think it's going to drop profusely because I think they want to stay up. I just think they want to get it for a slightly cheaper price is what's happening. And then they're going to take it right back up and most likely break this area. But we don't know. We just play what the chart gives us. And right now, the chart is giving you chop. So you should be just sitting on your hands. When this is going on, your behavior should be watching, not trying to play this, right? Unless you're a grinder and you have $100,000 in your account and you can make $10,000 on a move like this, one candle going like less than an inch. Right? If you don't have that type of account, you can't make that kind of money on these small of a moves. You should be sitting on your hands and watching. Anything else running, James? Is he still here? Boxel. AGRI. Let's check out AGRI. Anything else happening in the chat, gang? Let me look at the chat. If you guys see something running and you want to look at it, let me know. In the meantime, I will pull up IWM because Richard was talking about that. I paper traded M2K, which is the Russell, but it's the futures version of the Russell. So I looked at this chart all day long. Okay, now as you can see, I have it charted out. I have it well charted out, actually. And traders don't always wait for it to go all the way up to the top. You see, this is where they got rid of it, right? There's a line there. There's a history there of it pulling back. So they said, hey, I'm not going to wait for it to get there. I'm going to go ahead and take my money now, right before it gets there. But they drove it all the way up to it. Yeah, I've got this thing charted out. I went on the 1 year, Richard. You'd have been proud of me. Yep. This red line down here is the absolute lowest that it's ever been. So it's nowhere in that territory because it's busy moving up. And the blue line up here is the highest. So we'll see. Where did my candles go? Where did my candles go? Where are they? Where are they? Oh, right here. There we go. They were hiding. They were hiding in the Navajo blanket. But yeah, IWM had a really nice day. Just a steady climb up. It gave you a little pull back in here, right? Which is understandable. It got to this area here, right? Came up here, went up past it a little bit, but obviously this is an area where it pulled back before, so it did it again, right? And I'm going to go in and lay some new lines based on this information later on. I didn't use this chart. I was looking at M2K, so that's why it's not charted out. But yeah, then it just continued to step up, not without a little chop, but it continued to step up. This was a really nice run here. If you did options, you didn't get too much, but options, this kills option contracts. So unless you got in here and you were doing really well, right, when it first started its move up, hopefully you got out when it broke and held below the 9 here, because this was a good run. Here we had the 9 pulling over VWAP, pulling over the 21, creating a new EWO. You've got your first one here that you should get in, right? The second largest. It broke and held over the 9. It continued to the upside. Everything was over VWAP at this point, so it continued to the upside. And then it came to this line, didn't it? And look what it did. That's why we tell you guys. Coach teaches us the right way. Chart your stocks. Chart them. That way you don't get in something and say, oh, every time I get in it, it pulls again. Well, that's because you don't know that there's a pullback coming. But if you chart it out, you know. So if you were in this, you were one of these people who said, I'm not going to wait for that to happen. I'm going to get out now. And that's what they did, right? They didn't take it below the 9, though. They kept it above the 9, right? So if you were a break and hold of the 9 trader, technically, you would have stayed in this. But if you're a true scalper, when you saw that big candle, you got the hell out of it. Why lose all of that money, right? Because look how far the candles are away from the 9. If you wait, that's a lot of money you're giving back just in the ride back to the 9 because it got so far away from it. So when it does that, you don't lose all of that money. You re-enter, right? You don't wait for it to break and hold the 9 when it's so far from the 9. All this space is your money. So you don't want to give that back for it to get to the 9. Because now, if you had done that, you'd be sitting here pissed off trying to get your money back. And look, it never did get back up there. And if you did options, you can hang it up.
I was saying, Mr. On that gamma candle would take quite a bit of that option, wouldn't it?
It would eat it up. It might even take you in the red, depending on how far in the money or out of the money you were.
Well, and I had to apologize. I had to cut out for a little bit. I had a pre-op doctor's phone call.
Oh, you're good.
So I would question to say, and since Richard's in the chat, I'll ask, would the news with NVIDIA today be considered an event? I mean, if you look at how it drove so much of the market,
yeah, let's look at it.
I would think so.
Okay, so here's NVIDIA today. Let's pull this down so we can get a full pick. Okay, so I remember when Maria called that out. That was when Coach was still live. It was flat all morning, and then Maria, shout out to Maria, said, hey, you might want to take a look at NVIDIA. Some news happened. They got into $1 billion deal. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. And look what happened to it. News trumps any of the technical analysis that you can do. When a news catalyst happens, you get a reaction. Most likely it did, James, because Nvidia tends to do that, because it's and we learned this from one of Richard's earlier radar videos. Nvidia is 7.66% of the S&P.
Right. So you know it affected SPY.
Yep.
It's a tech stock, so it affected SOXL.
Yep. Actually, you know what? While you're saying that, let's take one at a time, leave it up, and pull these up to see at that time how they were affected. Let's look at SPY first. All right, so here we got SPY. Okay, so I don't see a huge, let me make sure that is SPY, right? I don't see a huge, because I'm in the aftermarket.
You gotta go left, gotta go left.
Look at that. Look at it. Right? Look at that. Right.
Well, and see, SPY was already in an uptrend, and it was starting its typical lunchtime lull.
Yep. Look at that. He's right. There it is.
That news came out, and
there's the lull, and then
off to
video
the races
news
it went.
Yep. Right along with it. You see how one stock affects another, especially during a news catalyst, and Nvidia being such a huge part of the S&P, part of SPY. Of course, it's going to move it. Way to go. But these are the things that we're taught to look at American Dream Trading. We get trained the right way over here. We're thinking like traders, right? Don't be a call-out chaser. Don't just, SAVA, go get in that. No, we don't do that over here. We look, if somebody calls something out here, we go look and evaluate it as traders. Do I want to get in that? Let me look at what the L2 is saying. Let me see where the indicators are. We think first and chart it out. But let's look at, what was the other one you mentioned? SOXL, right?
Yes,
and SOXL did it, because SOXL is kind of like a baby version of IWM. I mean, of Nvidia. I got IWM on the brain. Oh my God, I got IWM on the brain. So SOXL was already going up too, but yeah, here's this reaction. Yep, of course. So yeah, Nvidia definitely did some stuff to the market today. Nice, nice, nice. Let's see here. I know, didn't MU have earnings?
MU?
That's another tech stock. I think I heard Ted say MU had earnings today, but maybe not. MU had a pretty decent day. Let's take a look at Apple in the wake of Apple Day and all the sales. All right, so Apple had an amazing day. As one of our training moderators, we call the Apple Whisperer or the Apple Master, David plays. Yeah, look at Apple, man. Apple just had a beautiful morning. F2, no wonder. F2 got paid on Apple today. Listen, Apple, right from the gate, popped out hot. It jumped over the 9, which was already over VWAP. So anybody in their right mind who has our training knows this is a go, right? And then it broke. Not only did it break, but it held over the 9, right? And then it continued to hold over the 9 all morning long. This is not saying to get out in any way, shape, or form. And if you're in a 2-minute EWO, which is down here, you're watching this. Never, ever, 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 ever did it say to get out. Here might have been a little scarce, but never. Look at this. This is an all-day EWO, and that's what Coach encourages us to do, is follow the EWO if you want to stay in the trade for a long amount of time, right? Make sure you get in at the correct point, though, which would be the start of the EWO, which is This one right here, the very first candle that is bigger than the others before it is your entry point. See how flat these are here? But look at this one. This one stood out like a giant among the smaller ones. That's your entry. When the first sign of volume, and then that increases. So that was your entry point. And if you got in at that point, none of these pullbacks hurt you. Because look, all of these pullbacks are at support, which is above you. If you got in here, all of these pullbacks are above your position. They didn't touch you. Yeah, they pulled back some of your premium, but they didn't hurt you. They didn't take you in the red. In fact, you're just making more and more money the higher it goes. Look at this thing, right? Even look at this huge pullback up here, right? This is where you shed. You don't get out because look, your entry is way the hell down here. Why would you get out? You should have more than one contract so that you shed here, not get out. And then it continued on. And then once it starts coming here, yeah, you start shedding. And then, of course, you go ahead and get out. But, yeah, even that. Now, I wouldn't give up that much money. That makes no sense. I don't care how far in the green. You don't give that much money up. By here, you should be out. You know what I mean? Use this as double bottom as your benchmark. Once it passed that double bottom, you are out of there. Once it breaks that 21 right here, you are out of there. And you get to keep all of that profit.
Well, and with that, like you said before, Miss Dawn, it's a lot easier to go back and look at this armchair quarterback, as we call it.
Absolutely.
So I would say, just an idea, a suggestion, look at it. No matter what you traded, maybe make some notes in your journal about it.
That's it.
What would have been the entry? What would have been your out? Start building up that trust in the process, in the indicators, and the EWO. Just a thought.
Absolutely. And I love that phrase, armchair quarterback, because the world needs armchair quarterbacks, right? That's called back testing. That's called taking a look at what happened so you know what'll happen tomorrow, possibly, right?
Right. Well, I mean, you can always go back and do the replay on it.
That's it. And those of you who don't have TradingView, I'm telling you, that's an excellent tool. If you get TradingView, you're able to do replays on there, right? Even with the basic membership. And if you do that, you can get Coach's Indicators, which I think he's been talking about selling them a la carte again. Didn't he bring that up?
I briefly heard a whisper about it, but I wasn't going to poke that bear.
Yeah, I don't think he did. But if you have a diamond membership, if you have a futures membership, if you have a VIP membership or VIP gold, those indicators come with it. So it's an overlay for TradingView, and you can have the basic TradingView plan. You don't need to get the higher plans. You get the essential. You can go ahead and get those overlays. And it basically, and James is really a fan of it. Actually, you know what? I will go ahead and pull it up just so you can kind of take a quick look at it.
Well, take a quick just to throw it out there again, I'm sure you've already mentioned, Miss Dawn, Coach did reinstate the 5K Diamond Lifetime for today.
No, he did, right? There you go. So, let me see.
Yeah, hopefully Bruno doesn't fall asleep on that and forget to pull it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Right. Okay,
did I use the wrong eye for that?
Yeah, you might have. So with Coach's Indicators, you not only get the EWO, but you get the volume. Look at these volume indicators. It's telling you how many sellers versus buyers there are in that.
You're not on the TradingView, huh?
Oh. Hold on. Thank you for that. Okay, there we are. So you get the regression channel, progression, regression, depending on the direction it's going. Which
Trend
basically,
channel, trend.
yeah, trend channel, going in the direction that it's going, and you also get the charting that we told you about. So it will chart previous day high for you, previous day low, pre-market high, pre-market low for you. So, I mean, this alone is worth the price of admission. You see where it tops out at the trend channel
And then back
and
down.
bottoms out
And then back up. And then back down. It's almost like riding a swing.
Buy, sell, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, hello.
Okay, something else real quick. I just noticed Richard put in the chat. SOXL is more a vision of the semiconductor area. Okay, so if Nvidia's deal, the $1 billion deal, was with OpenAI for AI infrastructure, wouldn't that include semiconductors? I mean, wouldn't they need those to build the infrastructure? I'm asking. I mean, that would be my thought on it.
I mean, I would think. Richard, you want to come up here and answer that, or are you going to answer it in the chat?
He can answer in the chat.
I was trying to get him on the panel.
Or he can man up and come up here. Yeah.
Whoa, man up. Oh, shots fired.
She made me, Richard.
Yeah, but woman up might be standing right behind him, and we don't need him sleeping on the couch. All right, so it's been an amazing day. And unless somebody wants to come up here and look at a stock or pull up one of their trades, you are more than welcome to do that. If not, we're going to go ahead and shut it down and end with Coach's rules. James, you got anything you want to add in or anything you want to look at real quick before we go?
No, I think we threw in the Diamond Lifetime. You've done an excellent job today. I'm sorry I kind of cut out on you a little bit.
Oh, you're good. Thank you. You're here. And with that being said, and Richard, thank you for that this afternoon. I really appreciate that. You know what? Guess not. Let me go ahead on this one.
Yeah, Richard said that is true.
Woman up. Oh, okay.
It would involve the semiconductors, the infrastructure.
Okay. Yeah, that only makes sense.
So my next question would be, who's going to be building the chips? Who's going to design them? Who's going to build them?
NVIDIA. That is what they do.
Oh, we know who designs them, but NVIDIA doesn't build them; they design them. Unless something's changed that I'm not aware of. Wasn't it TSMC that NVIDIA had a big deal with? You're muted.
I was saying, I think it was, yeah. Yep, I think it was.
Maria brings up a good point. There was an investment deal with Intel also, and Nvidia.
Yeah,
So
anytime somebody goes into a deal with Nvidia, the stock flies. So, and they know that. They know that. So,
Richard, I can't.
Lay's builds chips.
And they're delicious.
Richard.
I am a good old fashioned, just original flavored Lay's guy.
Well, barbecue. I'm always a barbecue fan. Well, gang, thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. Thank you for being down there in the chat and being so active. Remember, don't forget to smash the like button on the way out. And if you did think I did a good job today, I'll go ahead and leave my tip jar down there in the live chat if anybody wants to drop something in there on the way out. It's not mandatory, but it is greatly appreciated, and I love your faces. I'm gonna go ahead and find Coach's rules for us and end with that, as well as our anthem that was created by Ken Mayfield. And James, you have a good rest of your day, bro.
You too, huh? Not all.
All right. Everybody have a great night. I'll see you in the morning.
You guys remember all the rules. You must follow all of them. Not some. You don't get to sprinkle in your own and leave mine out. You must follow all the rules. Always have a stop loss in each and every trade. If you're a new trader, make sure you are simulate trading only using a paper account. I don't want anybody losing their money while you are in training. Make sure you guys are using small position sizes. This will allow you to let those runners run and stop out the losers. Again, stops on every trade, regardless of shares, options, futures, or crypto. Make sure you guys are journaling every single day. It's one of the most important pieces of what we do on top of the risk management, so that you can help assess what you are doing and make the changes that you need to do. Don't trade in the first 30 minutes or the last hour of the day if you're a new trader. And if you are an experienced trader, please be careful the first 3 minutes or the last 8 minutes of the trading day.
I was stuck in the cycle, just spinning my wheels, chasing time, losing sleep, forgetting how to feel. Dreams collecting dust on a shelf in my mind, till I found a spark, a way to realign. Not just numbers, charts, or lines on a screen. It was a mirror that showed who I could be. American dream train, you opened the door, gave me the tools, now I'm asking for more. No more waiting for life to decide. You gave me the pen so I can rewrite. From fear to focus, from doubt to drive, I found my strength, now I'm alive. You didn't just teach me to trade, you helped me rewrite my life. Used to think I missed my chance, too late to change, but you showed me growth lies outside the cage. Now I'm building something real, not just getting by. Flipping setbacks into fuel, reaching for the sky. You said mindset first, and now I see. Success starts with who you believe you can be. turning every loss into a seed. Now I grow with every rise and fall, standing tall, no dreams too small. American dream being traded, you show me the way, turn my dark into light, my night into day. Now I'm writing my future in my own hand, with purpose, with power, with a brand new plan. From stuck to soaring, from fear to flight, you help me rewrite my life. Yeah, I'm trading more than stocks, I'm trading pain for pride. Thanks to the dream, now rewrite my life.